Coming up next, more vaccines are creating cautious optimism in our area. But there's also a new warning.
Plus, dropping enrollment at some Pennsylvania colleges leads to a proposed merger. However, the potential change is sparking concern.
I am worried about what's going on. Now there are more questions than answers.
And a windstorm takes out a Penn State landmark, but it may come back to life in a new way. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Sebastian Kraft.
And I'm Olivia Lawrence. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. We begin with potentially good news, but also a warning on the coronavirus crisis. Governor Tom Wolf says every adult in Pennsylvania will be eligible for the vaccine coming April 19th, and some restrictions will be lifted this weekend. At the same time, COVID cases have been rising in our area. Casey Kummer is live on Penn State's campus with more. Casey?
Thanks, Olivia. Just last week, State College was named the 7th worst metro micro area for COVID outbreaks in the nation and has been the worst in Pennsylvania for several weeks now. With the ease of COVID restrictions coming this Sunday across PA, the State College community will be tested yet again.
Let's go.
College students are the backbone of the state college economy, and the past year has been a rough ride for local businesses, from lockdowns to limits on customers and capacity.
Make no mistake, the students, this town's called State College for a reason. Penn State students make up a significant part of the spending in this economy, and kind of that suppression that has come from the restrictions definitely took a toll on small businesses.
Businesses are hopeful as things start to open up.
You kind of get like little kid Christmas hope. You're like, oh yeah, here we come.
The reason for their hope? Under the governor's new order beginning Easter Sunday, restaurants and bars can raise indoor capacity to 75%, but must continue social distancing and masking rules. Other changes include the addition of bar service, removing the curfew for buying alcoholic drinks previously set at 11 p.m., and allowing for the purchase of alcohol without food. This means no more unwanted egg rolls. Other businesses can also move to 75% capacity, including gyms, malls, theaters, casinos, and salons. Business owners also say the ease in restrictions is about people and a return to normalcy.
Everybody stops by to say hi. I miss that. That people, the people interaction. It's priceless. It's absolutely priceless. I miss it so much. And so I can't wait to get everybody back.
But the relaxing of rules also comes at a critical time. Experts recently confirmed a COVID variant in Center County, and the area has seen rising COVID cases and hospitalizations. As of yesterday, nearly 30 people were in the hospital for COVID. Over the past week, Penn State's on-campus testing showed 261 new positive cases. Local officials are making a public plea for everyone to stay vigilant.
Starting tomorrow, this exact location behind me, Bigler Hall, will be the site of one of the first ever pop-up testing centers at the university. This comes after there have been several COVID outbreaks at residence halls these past few weeks. They're still continuing the testing of random for students at University Park. I'm Casey Kummer, live at East Halls. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Casey. As we mentioned, the governor says all adults will qualify for the vaccine by April 19th. And others, like emergency responders, grocery workers, and high-risk groups, can schedule their shots now. The state had been stuck in the first vaccine group for months, and many are still having trouble booking appointments.
What time's your appointment?
But the acting health secretary says the new timeline is possible because Pennsylvania's vaccine supply is growing.
A new decision by a Big Ten university has many Penn State students wondering if they'll be required to get a COVID vaccine. Jake Starr reports.
To vaccinate or to not vaccinate? That's the question some schools are asking. Rutgers University recently announced it will require all students to show proof of a COVID-19 vaccine before returning to campus in the fall. Here at Penn State, many wonder if the university might do the same. Sophomore Dana Nunemacher recently got her first vaccine dose. She believes the decision is clear.
I believe that it is really important for college students to go ahead and get their vaccine.
For a college population as large as Penn State, it may be hard to require more than 40,000 students to get a COVID vaccine between now and August. But one doctor says a mandate would help get Penn State and State College closer to a protected student population.
You mandate it and you get enough people that adhere to this mandate, you could foster some degree of herd immunity amongst the community, college population.
Experts say recent results from studies of the vaccine's real-world effectiveness are showing the shots are effective at preventing spread and disease. But that information may not be enough to convince some people to get the shot. While many Penn State students are eager and excited to get their COVID-19 vaccines, others are more hesitant and don't want the school to require them in the fall. Amanda Melnicki doesn't want the school to require students to get it.
I just feel like it's so soon for them to make it required. Like, it just seems a little premature, one, for them to make that call, and two, for them to require such a new vaccine.
As vaccine distribution expands and more groups become eligible, many Penn State students will anxiously wait for a decision from the university on what's required and what's not. In University Park, I'm Jake Starr for the Center County Report.
The Rutgers decision was made with assurance from the federal government that enough vaccines would be available for all Americans by the end of May.
The Wolf administration says Pennsylvania schools will get nearly $5 billion from the federal COVID-19 aid package. School districts are required to use at least 20% of the money for learning loss from the pandemic, as well as supporting underrepresented students, including low-income families, those with disabilities, and English language learners. More than $4 billion will go to public school districts and charter schools. The money comes from the federal COVID relief measures signed by President Biden.
Lock Haven University is facing major changes in the next few years. Reporter Shelby Lincoln has the details and explains how the community is reacting.
Many people in Lock Haven are worried about the future of their university. Marissa Dobbs just started her freshman year at LHU. She found out about a planned merger of her university with two others through emails and online reaction.
I see people posting on social media like saying like, oh, I'm going to transfer after this year because like this is not what I wanted to like come and do.
The 14 schools in Pennsylvania's state system for higher education have seen declining enrollment numbers in recent years. Last fall, System Chancellor Daniel Greenstein proposed a solution. Lock Haven would merge with Bloomsburg and Mansfield to become one whole multi-campus school. There are similar plans for 3 other schools in the system, but it's a move that some, like Union President Dr. Jamie Martin, are uncertain about.
I am worried about what's going on, but now there are more questions than answers.
2 weeks ago, Greenstein sparked concern when he told Pennsylvania senators this if the merger plan doesn't work.
Senator, unless we figure this out, I will be recommending to the board that we come back to the Senate next year with a legislative package to dissolve the system.
Greenstein says his statement was taken out of context and that dissolving would be a disaster for our students and the communities we serve. But his words have not calmed the community. At a recent town hall, more than 100 community members, LHU staff, and students voiced their concerns for the plans to reduce 30% of the school's faculty and proposals for outsourcing work. There are also plans to cut more academic programs. Mayor Joe Long is worried about the financial impact on his town.
We lose them as spenders here in our town, shopping at our businesses, eating at our restaurants.
The university told us integration is the way forward to continue to serve students and provide educational opportunities for students in Central PA and beyond. In Lock Haven, I'm Shelby Lincoln for the Center County Report.
The State System Board will present its merger plans this month with a projected vote on it this coming July.
It's felt like winter for the past few days, but big changes are coming this weekend. We'll have the 7-day weather forecast coming up. Plus, how strong winds destroyed one of Penn State's historic landmarks, but now experts are trying to preserve it for years to come.
Central Pennsylvania residents will now have to start dialing all 10 digits of a phone number starting this weekend. Beginning tomorrow, anyone dialing a number inside the 814 area code will have to include all 10 digits instead of just 7. The change is being enacted to make room for a new overlay area code because they're running out of 814 numbers. The new area code will be 582. That'll go into service in early May.
A new store is coming to the State College in the North Atherton area of Patton Township. Shoe Department Encore has signed a lease for the 9,000 square foot space at Trader Joe's Plaza. That space used to be the home of Pier 1 Imports, which closed last summer after filing for bankruptcy. An opening date for the shoe store has not yet been released. Shoe Department Encore has another store in the area at the Nittany Mall.
Penn State's campus has lost a long-standing landmark, but now work is underway to preserve the symbol for years to come. Reporter Hannah Deek has the story.
Penn State's main campus lost a beloved landmark last week. The old willow tree came crashing down as a windstorm with gusts near 60 miles an hour ripped through the area. Their tree was a third generation of the original old willow, which can trace its roots all the way back to the 1850s. Local legend says the first old willow was planted on campus by Penn State professor William Waring in 1859 after acquiring a cutting from former university president Evan Pugh. He's said to have obtained the tree from the home of famous British poet Alexander Pope. Author of Conserving Mount Nittany and Old Willow expert Tom Shakely sees no reason why the legend can't be true.
The thing about legend, I think, from my perspective, is that we talk about all sorts of things. We say that's legendary, that doesn't mean it's not true. We say great athletes are legendary. It means like a great all-time athlete across the ages. And in that sense, things can be both true and legendary. And I think probably Old Willow is that.
University arborists and groundskeepers were nearby when the tree fell and jumped in to preserve the cuttings.
Took probably about 70 cuttings just so we had plenty. The actual tree was just starting to leaf out, so it actually was a good time to get the cuttings.
As you can see, the cuttings are only about a foot tall right now, but in 6 to 7 years, they are hoping to replant an 8-foot tall, 4th generation old willow tree. Old Willow will soon stand again to continue one of Penn State's longest living traditions. I'm Hannah Deek for the Center County Report.
Old Willow was designated as a heritage tree several years ago by Penn State and will be preserved as part of a program to protect trees of historical distinction. Now over to Hannah with weather.
Thanks, Sebastian. So yeah, we had a low pressure system move through our region yesterday, bringing that wintry precipitation mix, but that has since wrapped up and we will have a nice weekend ahead for your Easter weekend. And as high pressure system comes in throughout the week, it will be a quiet week ahead with temperatures above average throughout most of the week. So looking at live over Mount Nittany right now, we see nice clear blue skies. Right now, current conditions are sitting at 34 degrees, but it does feel like 24 because of that wind coming in at 14 miles per hour from the northwest. As we look at temperatures across the state, we see State College right in the middle of the state at 34 degrees. We have Harrisburg at a high temperature of the state down in the southeast at 39. And we have Bradford at a low temperature of the state in the northwest at 27 degrees, but that does feel colder because of that wind coming in from the northwest. And our satellite radar show that low pressure system has since moved off into the northeast. That wintry mix has passed through our region, and it is quiet across much of the U.S. because of that high pressure system dominating our region right now. So today in State College, we have a high of 40, which is way below average for this time of year, so it is going to feel quite cold, but it is going to be sunny, and then as we get into tonight, those winds will soon calm down for a clear night of 23 degrees, so make sure you bring a jacket if you are going out tonight. For tomorrow, we have a high of 50, more seasonable weather for spring this time of year, beautiful sunshine for your day on Saturday in State College. As we get into Easter on Sunday, those temperatures are on the rise to about 60 degrees because of that high pressure system coming into our region. And as we get into the rest of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, beautiful sunny spring days with highs in the mid to high 60s. But as we get into Thursday, we do see another low pressure system move into our region, bringing those AM showers with a high of 60 degrees. Now, here is Jake with sports.
Thanks, Hannah. We'll see how that cold weather affected opening day for the Phillies and Pirates. Those highlights are up next. Also coming up, Penn State's new basketball coach was officially introduced this week. We have more from Micah Shrewsbury's news conference. That's on the other side in sports. I'm Jake Starr with sports. Penn State football is continuing its spring practices this week. Last season, the team and quarterback Sean Clifford struggled to a modest 4-5 record. There are some new coaches and new players this spring, but Clifford and coach James Franklin are using last fall as a learning experience for the upcoming year.
It just kind of grew me as a man more than it did as a player, just like the whole year itself. I feel truly like grown up through the sport now. Like I understand times of adversity. I've had both now. I've had, triumph and trials.
I think, Sean's on a mission after 2 years ago, having a really good year as a first-time starter, and then as a program, us having challenges. Last year, I've seen a lot of growth from him.
Sean Clifford and the Nittany Lions will show off their new offense, or at least a little of it, in their final spring practice in Beaver Stadium, April 17th. New Penn State men's basketball coach Micah Shrewsbury is getting familiar with Happy Valley. The Nittany Lions' newest head coach met with the media this week at the Bryce Jordan Center. Athletic Director Sandy Barber introduced him at the event. The 44-year-old coach for the Boston Celtics before spending the last 3 seasons as an assistant at Purdue. Shrewsbury is excited to get started at Penn State.
Everything that you dream of, Penn State is for me. And, I'm honored to be standing here and honored to be your next head coach.
Shrewsbury's roster is beginning to take shape. Guard Isaiah Brockington announced he'll return to Penn State, and guard Myron Jones will leave the program. Both recently entered the transfer portal. The MLB season is officially underway. Both the Phillies and Pirates were in action to start their respective seasons yesterday. The Pirates, they started off their season in Chicago. They took on the Cubs. Let's move it over now. Top of the first inning, rookie Cabrian Hayes, a deep drive into left field, and the rookie puts the Buccos up 2-0 early. Now top of the second, Adam Frazier shoots one the other side, scores Gregory Polanco. Pirates go up 3-1. They won 5-3. Now South Philadelphia. Phillies ace Aaron Nola dealing here, top of the fourth, strikes out Marcell Ozuna. But in the seventh, it was Pablo Sandoval. Yes, he's still playing. Off the bench for the Braves. Goes deep, second deck home run. Ties it up at 2. Now, bottom of the 10th inning, Gene Segura down the left field line. Scores Bryce Harper. Phillies win it 3-2. Start the season 1-0. Those two teams back in action on Saturday at 4. And high school baseball is also back. Reporter Casey Comer checked in with one of the most successful baseball teams in the area.
We caught up with the Little Lions at practice this week. Their season opener on Tuesday marked their first game since 2019. And while they left Central Dauphin with a loss, they're optimistic about this season.
They have experience. They've been there. They've seen that. And I think, like I said, having them along the ride is teaching our younger kids and our players and showing them what we're expecting out of them.
Last year, the State College baseball team was in the car on their way to Myrtle Beach for their first game of the year when it got canceled due to COVID-19. Now the team feels an even bigger need to fill the shoes of those who came before them. The loss of a season fuels some of the seniors' motivation.
It means a lot to all of us, and especially the seniors on our team last year. Like being a 4-year varsity guy, I played a lot with those seniors and was really close with a lot of them, so we're doing a lot of this stuff for them.
This year, the Little Lions will look to go for their 4th straight District 6 championship. Varsity includes 14 seniors, with 7 of those set to play college ball. With new restrictions, the team will only play 15 games this year compared to their typical 21. A winning tradition means high standards for this team.
It means a lot. You want to kind of continue that tradition.
and continue to win, just like how our teammates did in the past, like how my brother did in the past.
But having the opportunity to play together after a year of the pandemic means so much more. The team is in agreement of what will bring them success this season.
Team camaraderie, team chemistry.
You know, the camaraderie.
In State College, I'm Casey Kummer for the Center County Report.
State High will play the second game of the season tomorrow after yesterday's game was canceled. The Lions play Williamsport at home starting at 11 a.m. Penn State women's soccer is once again the Big Ten regular season champions after a win last weekend. It's head coach Erica Dombach's 11th regular season title during her time here. Senior captain Frankie Taliaferri was named Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week for her performance in the matchup. The Nittany Lions return home tomorrow to face Maryland in their last regular season contest before the conference tournament. That's all for sports. Now back to you with the Anchor Desk.
Thanks, Jake. Can't wait to see how they do in the Big Ten tournament. Coming up next, an annual Pennsylvania tradition begins again this weekend, but there are a few changes this year. We'll tell you all about it after the break.
Pennsylvania's trout fishing season opens statewide tomorrow. The state has been stocking fish since about February. That's about 2 weeks earlier than usual. The season opens at 8 a.m. tomorrow and then stays open 24 hours a day. This year, all counties open the same day instead of the usual staggered schedule. The limit is 5 trout per day. Remember, anyone age 16 or older does need a state fishing license.
That sounds like the catch of the day right there, Olivia. I can't wait. And that's all for today's newscast. You can find more of our stories on our website, centercountyreport.com. And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Twitter feed. That's at Center County REP, or on our Facebook page. We also have a CCR Instagram. Join us for our next newscast next Friday. Have a great weekend.
We hope you enjoyed watching the video. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you did.
For the rest of our newscasts and featured stories, click here.
And for sports, click here. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.